If you're tuning in for the first time, this is my boat. It's a Graham Redford designed and 46 foot long, built in aluminium in Tasmania, Australia. I decided to change the rigging on both sides of the mast on my own to save some money. It didn't go that well, and I had to take the wire off 3 times and ended up paying extra costs. This is how it happened. Trying to do research with the past owners and the riggers, and I haven't been able to get a firm date when this was all changed. So this could be quite old, but personally I think it's in perfect condition. I'm planning some really long trips and I just can't afford to have any worry in the back of the mind that something might break. So I'm going to replace it all. It's a sensible thing to do. 9.5mm diaphragm. This rope on the winch is used to lift up the mainsail. It's called the mainsail halyard, and we also put a bosun's chair on there, and someone will haul me up the mast, and that's to do an inspection or to do any work up there. But with re-rigging the boat, I'm probably going to need to go up at least 10 times. So finding somebody to winch me up could end up being a delay, but there is another way, and I managed to borrow this really cool winch. It's called a mast lift, and I'm going to use that. I'm going to try it out. It's sort of like a chain block, and this gets connected to the bosun's chair, and this to the halyard. You lift it up, and then this rope you pull yourself up and down. I haven't seen it before, but luckily a friend, yachtsman that lives in Fiji has lent this to me. I need to secure the mast as best I can with the running backstays and any spare halyards. I have the inner forestay halyard, the topping lift, the spare halyard for the head sail, and the spinnaker halyard 3/4. Problems with the halyard rope is they got a bit of stretch in them. I might need to tighten up a bit more. It's my running backstay. 2 halyards, and then I need to release the turnbuckles on the outside. I'll leave the lowers attached. So yeah, it's a bit wobbly up there. It's wobbling around like mad. And then when I do the replacing, I'll replace this one first and put it in, and then I'll do these ones after. I need to go up the mast and go from side to side up there and see if it feels safe, and that will be the true test to see if I can actually succeed with this. So I've taken off the lower, that came off here, and now I have to go up in the rain and disconnect it from there, and then I'll send it to the rigger. Got one out. A bit of a 2-hand job. Oh, this one came out easy. All right. New wire made to length. It's my lower stay. Yes, easy as that. All in the technique. Okay, these bolts, or screws, or bolts, they hold a bolt that has holes in it, and this what holds this. This bolt is all important. If I lose this, I'm not up shit creek. Did put this was off not long ago. Got that out to keep this. pull this out. Yeah. That. Let's put this back in here. It shouldn't come out. It's impossible for that to come out. If it does come out, I'm in trouble. So now I'm lowering down the cable. Okay. You just got a good shot of my arm there. Okay. This one is down. Okay, it's off. This one has to come off. Okay. Now for the very last one. Nearly. Didn't think of that, did I? Let's go up a little bit higher. Maybe I can do this. Oh, wrong one. Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh, you bloody idiot. Now I've got to go down again. Oh, what a stupid mistake. This is a mistake I made. Put the wrong one on. Idiot. All right. So that's better. Let's do it. Yes. All right. Okay. So down we go. All the wire on the starboard side from top to bottom, and I'm just taking it to the courier and they'll send it to Latoka, send back a pair of each. Taking off the wire on the port side, this time I didn't make any mistakes. The side stays are in 3 sections. The bottom is 10mm, the middle is 8mm, and the top section is 7mm. All are compacted stainless steel wire called diaform. It's about 30% stronger and twice the price. The system saves weight, high in the mast, and has less windage. It's come through the deck, and it's called a keel step mast because it's mounted at the bottom here, and also through the deck there, so it's 2 strong points. It's a lot better to have a keel step mast. The side stays have been removed. It's a bit easier to see how the mast is held up, and this is the lower that's been replaced, and that is a rope that I've got going forward. This triangulates the first spreader, and then to the second spreader I have the inner forestay running backstays. that triangulates the second spreader. And then right up to the forestay, we have the forestay and we have the two running backstays coming back, and also I put one rope going all the way to the back of the boat, so that's like a four-way stays on the right up the forestay. So we got that and the second spreader and the first spreader, and it's actually holding up the mast quite well. This is the chain plates you can see in a metal boat. They're welded in, well, they go right through the deck. They're there to last, they're not likely to fail. Unlike a composite or fiberglass boat, where through my research is a common cause of rig failure is the chain plates breaking. So really good thing about a metal boat is they're built to last. New lower, so then there's a lot of Tef gel. I put Tef gel in the joints in the thread when I put it together, stop any corrosion, or if you have to ever undo it or tighten it up, it doesn't seize. The lanolin spray, lanolin will seep into the joint here. I know that the rigger uses grease. He said he uses the grease inside here, but this lanolin is something that won't do any harm, that's for sure. So I just spend a day or so just making sure there's plenty of this inside. Maybe that might help too for long-term corrosion. It's a little bit messy and it leaves a little brown stain, which is a bit unsightly. My old rigging looked like it was rusting on the end, but it wasn't. It's just a lanolin spray. Okay, this is all the wire for both sides. Need to get it ready and it's time to put it on. I am laying out the wire and attaching ropes so I can lift each piece up. Hauling myself up, attaching the ropes for each wire as I go. I'll be starting at the top and working my way down. The top wire wouldn't fit into the slot. Turned out the rigger had made the top wire in 8mm instead of 7mm. Wouldn't fit, it's a bit bigger. I called up the rigger and he said to get my old one and to grind it down to the same size. I've noticed that this one's just a little bit smaller in diameter. The thickness is the same. So yeah, I'll just have to grind it gently, get it to the same size, and then go all the way back up there again. Yes, it fitted, and I started working my way down, attaching the wire until the GoPro overheated. On the starboard side, and after reaching the top, discovered I had not ground enough off, so back down again. Up I go again. This is to show what it's like going up. I'll let the clip run a little bit longer to show what it's like working up a mast. Here's the culprit. Yes, it fits. Tef gel. Problem with Tef gel is you get it everywhere. Up with the other pliers, finish that off because I forgot the pliers, and it needs tightening up a little bit too by the looks of it. The other pliers are much better, but I forgot them. This. Okay, this goes through here. This one goes through here. Now this is the tricky part because this has to get pushed right in. This is what I had trouble with yesterday. This one first. Okay, let's make a start. One. In a bit, might be in luck. Yesterday, this was very painful. Getting these in. It's not working. Hit it with a hammer. Yes, it's gone in. Woo-hoo. Wow. That's good. And the rest I'll do with the screwdriver. Oh no, I must have dropped it down there somewhere. Didn't know. Gonna have to go down again. Always 3 times. There it is. Well, that's a bit of relief it didn't go in the water. Idiot now. Without these I'd have to wait till Monday. Shop to open. And I got my pliers back. My pliers were sitting on top of there. They must have fallen out as well. The second spread up. Still got some strength. Alright. And the hard work has been done. Don't drop it. Okay. It's on. This one goes on. Make sure The arrow's pointing up, yep. Put some gunk on it. I had all this apart about a year ago. On the hole. Okay. Ooh. Time to go down. Give my ass a rest. I'm sitting in this chair. Buckles are all done. Well, I've tensioned them up. But I think it's about right. And then I need to go up the mast and check the intermediate ones. So I won't tighten them too much, just in case I'm putting too much load on those ones. But I'm not going up today because I've already done it 3 times today. Gone and hauled myself up. A bit too tired. So yep, there we have it. Tight yet, just firm. But I have a big problem, and the wires above the spreaders are a bit long, and it's caused the spreader to pull down and bend. And here's a big problem. It's all bowed. It's pulled down because it's fixed rig. It's pulled the spreader down because it stays above it a fixed length, and they're a little bit too long. And they can't be shortened either. That's the problem. They have to make new ones. The rigger didn't believe that the wire was too long and asked me to send it back to them to check. So I had to take it all off again. So the whole lot's got to come off. Just the curve in it might be enough for it to fold up, and we can't have that. So it all has to be done properly. So I'm going to have to take off all the wire. I can't say I'm very happy about it. I've had a couple of days to get over it, to think about it, and I'm just going to have to get in and do it. Not going to be long enough. This bottom one's probably going to need to be replaced as well. Bugger. Put all ropes back to hold the mast. No point showing you the wire being taken off again. It was when it was released, it sprang back, so there was no bend in this one, thankfully. Got it out. Okay. And now it's off. Very quick. Getting used to doing this. A slight dent in there. It's not good. Anyway, I'm going to try something to see if I can fix this. Hopefully it works. Otherwise, well, I should be replacing this, but can't seem to find one. This is the end of the spreader here. They have some pieces of flat bar that's been most likely hammered in there. I've got to try and get them out. And then I bought this piece of 19.5mm round, which is too big, so I'll sand each side, and then hopefully if I can get this out, I'll hammer that up in the inside of this, and hopefully that strengthens it. And maybe if I'm really lucky, it pushes that dent out. That would be really good. So I managed to get these 2 pieces of aluminium out of the center of here. They're pretty much stuck in there, but I got them out, and they kind of went less than half the way. And this is the piece I'm going to put in. I'm having to sand off the edges here because it's too thick to go in, so this is a bit of a difficult one to do with a grinder, but I think I can do it. Too big, so I have to get it out. More grinding. You can see the flat edges. So after bashing that for quite some time, I've managed to get it all the way in, and it's just to say it's a tight fit. And I needed a tight fit because the dimple that was here seems to have disappeared. It's pushed it back out, and that was the whole idea of it. And now it's like a core, hopefully it's like a core material, so the outside layer and the inside layer can't crush because of that piece of metal that's in the middle. That's a theory, so let's see if it works. Then the rigger asked me to measure both sides. Okay, measuring this. Bird shit. Bloody bird shit. Everywhere. Look at the buggers. They're done. I washed the boat a couple of days ago. And this is what you get with the minor birds. A lot of poo. So the rigger came down. He didn't want to be filmed. And we sorted out the problem with the wires being the wrong length, and the solution was that on the second spreader there was these extenders, so we took them off, and that kind of worked. It worked for the two top ones. They're in position now and they're good, but the only problem was the bottom one was too short. So we'll put a extender on there, and yeah, that's a little bit long, that extender, but for now it's working. I'm still waiting for them to send back the intermediate ones. They all had to be redone. He also talked me into replacing all 4 of the turnbuckles, so basically the rig on each side will be all new from top to bottom. So I think that's probably the way to go. D2 and D3, which are intermediate stay. D3, D2. 2 is 7 millimeters, and the D3 is 1/4 inch, which is about 6.25 millimeters. It's 10 millimeter diaphragm, quite expensive. It was made a bit short. And we put these extensions in. These ones were already on the boat. We'll use in another place. But they're a little bit too long, so virtually all the thread was done up on the turnbuckle. So the rigger sold me these things. These ones here are a bit shorter. And try them out, and let's hope, keep my fingers crossed that they're about the right length. There is firm, not tight at all. Just this one needs tightening, a bit firm. So what I'm going to do is going to go up the mast now and put on the D2s and the D3s, and then it'll be all tuning after that. Okay. The threads. And it's not over yet. The middle spreader is bent up, and when I tension the rig, the lower spreader bends down. So this is the second spreader, and it's bent up, it's curved up there. You can see that. So I'm about to take it off and measure what I need to make the extension piece. But there is a limit to how loose you can have the wire. On this type of rig, you really want to have it tight. And you don't want the leeward side to be sagging when you're sailing. If your leeward side is sagging and flopping around, that's a bad sign, because those wires can move and work hard, and eventually they'll start fatiguing and cracking and breaking. So it's best to have the leeward side, which is the side that's when you're heeled over, on the other opposite side to the tension side, to be still firm, not moving. I can buy like a extended eye star lock fitting, and I could take this down and cut it and put the extended eye in. Adjustments I've done to the second spreader, middle spreader. This was the original piece that goes to the turnbuckle on the D3, and the wire was made a little short. Now that the spreader's going to come down, because it was bent up, it's coming down a little bit. That would have been not long enough. The extension on the turnbuckle wasn't enough, so I've had to make these up, make them a bit longer. They still need to be grinded up. And this one here was the extension pieces, and they were originally 75 millimeters apart, being reduced down to 45 millimeters. So I took this to an engineering shop, and they used their press and they squashed it around, and they managed to get it to fit. Actually, I think it's going to work. This hole looks a bit close to the edge. I'm just going to weld a little piece in here and to strengthen that up, but you know, it's probably strong enough, but why not? For the fellow in the engineering shop to get these to fit, the eye and the toggle on here and the eye on here, he probably got a little bit carried away with the drill bit there. As you put the pin in there, it's just a little bit wobbly, a bit too wobbly for my liking, so I'm going to have to maybe put some weld and file it. Going to have to do something because there's clearance around the hole and the split pin's not that big, so we don't want, shouldn't go through, but not good. And it's not square as well, so it needs to be squared up a little bit. Anyway, I'll sort it out. Re-lengthen the rig. These are the Starlock extended eye. So yeah, they've got to go on. These are the compacted wedges. These are the pieces that go to the D3. I cut the old one in half and welded it on just to give it more bearing surface on the toggle. And these are the shortened extension pieces. I welded another piece in there because it looked a bit close to the edge. Doesn't look great, but you don't see it anyway, it's all hidden. It's just the rig's just firm, not tight. And if you look up to the second spreader, it's a bit hard to see with the GoPro, but it's been disconnected from the spreader, and that's how I measured the correct height on the stay that's above. So I'm going to put the extension in there now, and then I'm going to loosen the rig, put the extension in, then I'm going to come back down, tighten the rig, and then I'm going to disconnect the first spreader here, and then I will measure the exact length for that to be cut. Didn't fit, so I've come down and readjusted it with a hammer, and I've had to bend it like that. The pin goes through here to the spreader, and this pin here will go through here. But the way it was before, when it was bent like here, this pin was binding on that. So yeah, anyway, it should work now. I'm going to go back up and fit it. Hit here, whack there. If I overdo it, then I'll be back up here again. Alright, I think that's better. Yeah, that's good. Not a problem. Okay, let's take that off. Take this off. That's about how much. And I have to allow for stretch as well. I figure there'll be about 20 mil of stretch in this. So if it comes down 20 mil, it's pretty good. Okay, here's the old one. And I've put this in the center there. And this is the part that gets cut. I watched several YouTube videos on doing the Starlock fittings, and they used a grinder to cut the wire. I didn't think that was a good idea, as it will burr the edges. It's best to use a hacksaw. Also, there's a debate on either putting silicone sealant inside the fitting or nothing. I didn't like either of those options, so I used Tef Gel. Oh yeah. Okay. It's all in place. The spreaders are actually 100% in their right place now that I've done the extension on that one and the reduction on this one. But I'm still getting a little bit of a bend in this spreader here when I tighten the rig up. So it's coming off again, and I'm going to do some more, do something else to see if I can make it stronger. This is my latest harebrained idea. I'm gonna swap the spreaders from one side to the other. Yes, I got it out. All right. See if this works. Might be in luck here. You'd think they drill the holes in a jig. You think, and then everything should be exactly the same. Pretty close. Okay. All right. I'll swap both spreaders. You can see you got poo on the bottom now from the birds. So now I'm just going to attach the ends there, put the bolts through, which is a real pain in the ass job, but I'm going to do that, retension the rig. I'm pretty sure it's going to work this time. So I'm out having a sail, testing the rig out. It all looks good. I'm happy. It's been a long haul of, like 2 months, and it didn't go exactly how I wanted, but in the end I've got somewhere with it, and I think I've got all the lengths and where the spreaders are supposed to be exact now, and now it's time to move on to something else. But in conclusion, I would say I have made a couple of mistakes. One of them was to hand over all the wire to the rigger with the instructions that to not make them any longer and to minus off the amount of stretch, and that didn't seem to work. So if I was to do it again, and I think I learned a lot from this, I would probably get the top swaged and have the wire probably about 100 mil longer in each one, and then I'd buy those mechanical fittings like star locks, and I'd do them myself, and they'd be exact. And also I think those fittings are really easy to use, and I think from the reputation, they've got a fantastic reputation, they should be good. So now I'm turning my attention to the next job. I've got a really nice wind self-steerer sitting in the garage, a brand new one. The old monitor there, I've persevered with that for 2 years now, trying to get it to work properly, and I've given up on it. It's not only the monitor's fault, but it's also the configuration of the wheel and the steering. It's a little bit stiff and there's a bit of play in there, so it just doesn't work. So this new system that I've got, it's going to be a ripper. I know it's going to work really good, and I can't wait to put it on. It's been a long video, and you've done well to make it this far. I leave with some drone shots of haphazard sailing in about 10 knots of wind, and until next time, happy sailing.